I've been climbing around Australia now for what I call my first proper climbing season. I had goals to push certain grades, and this was the aim of this little video series. I wanted to push up a grade every place we moved along to, and with each video filmed. I was really happy with my progression to a 22 in the Blue Mountains, and happy to on-site a 23 in the Grampians. For this video, I aimed to climb a 24 on the west coast. I'll tell you at the beginning that did not happen, but I'm okay with that. While pushing certain grades has helped me to improve my climbing, it didn't necessarily help my brain. I'm still terrified of falling. Me and my partner Phillip live in our van and we move around a lot. Since the Grampians and Arapiles, we spent a while surfing the Antarctic swells around the Eyre Peninsula and climbing the steep red rock scattered about Adelaide. We then drove west into the desert and across the seemingly never-ending Nullarbor. The desert turns into bush, and the bush turns into towering trees of Australia's beautiful southwest coast. A place full of kindness and creativity. It's here where you'll find Bob's Hollow. Bob's Hollow is a limestone cliff by the ocean, and it's a special place for me. It's where I first climbed. With no knowledge of climbing whatsoever, an old friend tied me in to the easiest climb there. I watched in awe as they manoeuvred their bodies up the rock. They climbed until the sun had long set, and we all slept on the sand by a fire. Returning to Bob's Hollow, I could now climb those routes which once seemed so unachievable. However, the weather here was not in our favour. With just a few short gaps in between storms, my goal of spending a few days projecting a 24 and filming it was starting to become impossible. A lot of what we do is determined by the weather. To put it simply, we need a good amount of swell and little or offshore wind for surfing, a small amount of swell and the right amount of wind for sailing, no swell for clear diving, and dry but cool enough weather for climbing. We spend a lot of our days zooming in and out of maps, checking the forecast constantly, and I wouldn't want it any other way. It makes you patient, and it makes you so grateful when everything aligns. Since we got to the southwest coast, it's been raining on and off every single day. We came here today anyway knowing that it would rain, but it rained all day. I'm feeling a little bit fed up with the weather. Makes things very hard to film, and we're also running out of time.
Look at this weather, rain over there, rain about to land on our heads. We must go now.
So we chase the sun north along the road to Kalbarri. Here lies a vast canyon hidden in the landscape, a haven away from the wet and cold. This climb is called the Aimless Blade of Science, and it includes basically everything that I'm afraid of. To the right is Absence of the Bear, which is a 24, and the climb that I wanted to project, as that's simple face climbing, which is my style. But to start, I wanted to face my fears and climb the exposed arête. The start is very bouldery and strong, some big moves throwing to some small crimps. The next section is a balanced traverse, which really suits my style of climbing. And better yet, the bolts are very friendly and close together. Then we get to the face alongside the arête. It's high up at this point with views of the valley. It's got small crimps, decent feet, but we're heading to the arête. The climb goes slightly around the corner, and now it's really exposed. The bolts get further and further apart from each other, and the climb becomes more overhung. My fear of falling really kicks in here, and I start to second guess myself. My technique worsens, my breathing quickens, and panic mode sets in, which is the worst possible thing to do. Frustratingly, this stopped me from leading to the top. I was disappointed with my climbing and my brain. Even though we didn't film it, I was really happy to climb the 24 afterwards, even though I just seconded Phillip with a rest as well. And so that was it, the end of my first climbing season in Australia. We drove 4,500 kilometres in the next 7 days, straight across the middle of the outback, to Philip's home in Queensland. It's not only the beautiful climbing locations that you see, it's also the beautiful places that you see on the way there. When we arrived on the east coast, we decided to join an old friend's crew to sail to a small island in between Australia and New Zealand, mostly for the surfing. The ocean stole our hearts for the next while, so, for now, my newly formed climbing muscles and half-formed bravery would just have to wait until the next season of climbing. and I can't wait to see what that will bring.